Alright, let's ride.
In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the black community, because only you guys can forgive me for this.
One of the worst I've ever seen. She definitely took notes from the other crappy
that was the apology video?
A YouTube comment described Only JS's public apology following just one of her numerous different TikTok controversies.
What is going on with you white saviors that keep trying to defend JS for saying N-word lover, bro? You must say it too.
This is what makes Only JS's story unique. Despite having incredibly uncontroversial content,
if you're at a house party and you got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident, and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you.
She's found
not true. You could just be a giant fucking loser and you could put that beer bottle up your butthole. It's not gonna help. So bad advice. Stop giving people false hope. You might just suck. And you have to accept that.
herself in a big scandal on the political TikTok battlefield every couple of months for the last 3 years.
At this point, people of color should not be following Only JS.
Why is Only JS more prone to getting involved in these types of controversies? Is it something to do with how she responds to those critical of her?
I barely text my family back, and I just had to move apartments because my address got leaked, and you're gonna throw a fit because I didn't make you my priority?
After a petition to ban Only JS from TikTok garnered over 400,000 signatures, it'd be safe to say that she's a contender for the platform's most hated creator.
Did the petition work? Petitions have always, like, historically been incredibly effective. So I'm assuming that, let's see, I'm assuming that worked. Let's see how we're looking. She's gone up 4,200,000, or nope, exactly 4 million followers. Bro, these petitions are so effective. Not bad. Looking good. And thanks to the Prime Saturn and resub Batmeg.
And while such a title seems unfair without any further information or knowledge, as we go through explaining how this hatred came to be, the reason for this title will become blatantly obvious, and it all began with a tweet made by Only JS on the 9th of April 2020, just 12 months after she began posting videos to the website. I constantly feel like nobody actually likes me, so when I see thousands of hate comments saying, yeah, I never liked Only JS, she's so annoying. JS seems like a horrible person. That pushed me to the edge. The harsh and possibly even backwards reality of life is that those who acknowledge and complain about hate only end up receiving more hate.
when
In the
I'm
beginning, Only JS likely received a pretty standard amount of
Twitter.
negative feedback, owing to maybe a slightly annoying delivery as she mentioned in her tweet. The problem that Only JS had was that she really struggled to ignore criticism, and always seemed to give way too much attention to any situation in which there was some kind of negative sentiment against her name. It's got to be a running theme throughout this whole video, but it started with her simple inability to ignore basic negative comments, such as, yeah, I never liked Only JS, which is a pretty tame comment, giving her a foundational reputation as someone who would crack if you simply applied enough pressure. 3 months later, this reputation as a creator who would respond to negative criticism would continue after Only JS discovered that another creator by the name of the Jonathan Moss had been copying some of her videos word for word.
Did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on who you are as a person and the things that could possibly happen to you?
Yo, did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on you and the things that can happen to you in your life?
People born in March are way more likely to have asthma, and I can actually speak to this one because my little sister, the only one born in March, has asthma.
What the fuck are you talking about? What? Is that real? Like, these are things she actually believes in? Or is this like some kind of TikTok meme I don't understand? Who the fuck actually believes that? Why do people just like want to disregard basic reasoning? Jesus Christ. Astrology's one thing, like, it's harmless. Like, you can believe in astrology, it doesn't really matter or whatever. Like, zodiacs dictate who you fall in love with, or whatever, your lottery numbers, it doesn't matter, it's harmless. But do people parade it around as like actual real things? Like your birth month changes you? Or has an effect on your life? There's no way people actually like believe in that shit. God damn, that's crazy. What the fuck? Damn. Thanks to the bits, Tori.
In March are actually more likely to have asthma. And I can speak to that because my cousin, the only person born in March, has asthma.
OnlyJS would respond to the copied videos in a tweet reading, "TikTok creators should be called out when they copy other TikTok creators' videos word for word," alongside a video calling out the Jonathan Moss directly. Jonathan responded by stating that he'd simply found the information on Google, and as a result, OnlyJS was berated and mocked by her audience, with them stating that she was in the wrong for copying the information from Google. "This information is from a website. Why are you copying a copier? Copied from Google, then complains when others do the same. Which Business Insider article is this from?" There was clearly a bit of an injustice being done here. To state that her information was invalid because it was found on Google has got to be one of the dumbest arguments ever made. What did they expect her to do? Find some old 1850s foundational manuscript covered in dust at the National Library and take her facts from there? Jonathan Moss had clearly copied her videos word for word after OnlyJS had posted them originally, meaning there was no doubt about who copied who. However, OnlyJS was still painted as being in the wrong for one simple reason. They knew they could get a reaction out of her if they simply applied enough pressure, which they eventually would. After receiving hundreds of negative comments on her response, OnlyJS would take to Reddit stating, "He said that he found it on Google, which I mean he did, but only after watching my video. I'm now getting a huge amount of hate, people saying I'm lying. I copied Google too, I'm problematic, I should be cancelled, etc. I have a hard time dealing with the negativity. I still don't know what to do. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Maybe you do, but honestly, I don't see it."
What are they talking about? It's not even like real anything. It's fucking nonsense. What is? You got this information from a Google source. Oh my god. Holy shit, yeah, it's like a full-blown Reddit post. Nice. Man, TikTok is just like its own little ecosystem of degeneracy. Wild.
On her response, OnlyJS would take to Reddit stating, "He said that he found it on Google, which I mean he did, but only after watching my video. I'm now getting a huge amount of hate, people dealing with the negativity. I still don't know what to do. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Maybe you do, but honestly, I don't see it." Now, you probably wouldn't go so far as to say that OnlyJS was playing the victim, but she was once again complaining about the circumstances that she had found herself in. And to reiterate the point from earlier, complaining about hate doesn't make it go away, but rather amplifies it, as the audience will look for increasingly petty things to berate you for. With this in mind, it's barely surprising to find out that approximately 6 months later, an old message would be dug up in which OnlyJS had said the N-word, taking center stage as her brand new colossal-sized controversy.
I love you no matter your sex. What the fuck was that? What is... Oh, yuck. Uh-oh. All about sucking up to Luna. Is that like astrology or something? I wonder what this is about. Ooh. The abortion didn't work. Oh boy, she's really going full-blown Xbox Live here. Even dropping the racism. Oh my, this is outrageous. On TikTok? Oh, come on now. This was a heated gamer message. Shit got crazy. She went fucking insano style. I wonder what the controversy was. Like, what sparked this message? Explain how I'm sucking up to Luna. Maybe like fanfic or something, maybe? I don't know. Interesting.
Message would be dug up in which OnlyJS had said the N-word, taking center stage as her brand new colossal-sized controversy.
I love you no matter your sex, your gender, your sexuality, your faith, or your race.
I guess that didn't age well, because this you at the bottom calling someone the hard ER, a word used to oppress black people. This is why I don't trust people with savior complexes, bro. I feel like it's always a second agenda behind what you do. If you say it's 2 to 3 years old, you were 20 years old when you said it. The other day, Addison was canceled for old BLM tweets from 2016. Let's see if everyone keeps the same energy. You're a role model to 10 million people, bro. I hope things get better, and I hope you educate.
How did she respond, I wonder?
There were a couple of comments in support of Only JS, however, as a whole, and understandably, the response was mostly negative. All these white people saying, it happened 4 years ago. Literally, it doesn't matter. She did it and needs to take responsibility. The hard ER, she's done. And at Only JS, you got caught in 4K. The best way that JS could have responded to this expose would have either been no response at all, or a short, cool, calm,
oh my god, she's in a Rolls Royce.
post.
Is this where she did her apology video? This is a Rolls Royce, right? They're the only ones that do this Starlight thing, right? So she was born rich? That's nuts. It's not a Royce? I thought they had a patent on this. We watched the whole video on the dog shit Rolls Royce does. I thought they had the literal patent on being able to do this in the interior of a car. Oh, it's a filter. I don't think it's a filter. What the fuck? Now I sound like an idiot. It's not a filter. It's a custom. It's a custom Mercedes. It's a custom Mercedes top. Oh. Okay, I see. Alright, maybe I'm misremembering the video, but I remember Rolls-Royce made a huge deal about their ability to put stars in the roof of the interior and them being the only ones allowed to do it. They had if I remember correctly, they have a full-time star guy. His whole job is putting stars that light up in the roof of Rolls-Royces. I'm pretty sure they must have some kind of patent or like a stranglehold on the technology. They have one designated Grandmaster Star Lord for their vehicles.
Or video. Alternatively, she could have thrown a real curveball and simply said, I'm not sorry, which would have actually
You're
been
right, but she
respectable,
did
as
this
it's 100 times
DIY.
harder than simply getting in front of the camera and blurting out some pre-written stupid script with the goal of suppressing the criticism in the short term. However, with a track record like Only JS, obviously she did none of these, and rather posted a long, emotionally charged, scripted, generic social media apology, which felt as though it was designed to trick the audience into coming away with a specific feeling, as is usually the case with these types of public apologies.
And there is no excuse, and there are no justifications for what I said, and you guys deserve better. And when I first saw the screenshots, I didn't even think that they were real, because I forgot how hateful and how angry of a person I used to be.
Another YouTuber slash TikToker by the name of Papa Gut, who spoke to JS on the phone prior to the apology, thought that the intentions were sincere and that the apology was simply delivered poorly.
I actually had a conversation, a private phone call conversation with JS about this situation. She seemed pretty sincere about how sorry she was. Again,
well,
like
I imagine
I thought
she would be
genuine. What she produced was rough. It was less than stellar.
Others such as Freak the Gemini were less optimistic.
You literally hit us with a Playboy Cardi album. All that suspense just for it to be trash. The worst insult you could tell somebody was liking black people. Wow.
With the scandal being shared across every platform imaginable.
Was that
Only
in her
JS would
apology
also lose
video?
all the-
Alright, let me just look at the apology video. Hold on, let's get caught up to speed here. Alright, I don't like not knowing exactly
In my
everything that's
past, I
happened
said-
here. Let's see. Is this it? I'm assuming it's this one. Hey, thank you for the 10 gift subs off, learner. Thank you for that. Well, no, I'm assuming it was longer. She had 2, and Sunny was just showing clips. I'm assuming it's this one.
In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric and derogatory language to hurt others.
Oh, it was in the message text. Oh, I thought it was in the video.
And I understood the power behind it, but
Gotcha,
I said
sorry.
it anyway because it was the meanest thing that I could think of, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the black community, because only you guys can forgive me for this, and there is no excuse, and there are no justifications for what I said, and you guys deserve better. And when I first saw the screenshots, I didn't even think that they were real, because I forgot how hateful and how angry of a person I used to be. And
Why aren't you crying? And where's your dog?
Knowing that I said those things. But the screenshots and the things I've said in my past are not a reflection of who I am today. And I am so grateful for the people in my life that I met after high school, in college, at my previous jobs, and on TikTok, who took their time to educate me on their experiences. Because listening to them was so powerful and a real reality check for me. So I want to take this time to take a step back and share my platform with some amazing black creators who are going to tell their story to try and educate others on the trauma that happens when we use this kind of language. I know that my words hurt people, and I know that my words have consequences.
Well, not really. The consequences were 4 million new followers, actually.
But I am so deeply
Seemed to walk away pretty strong.
for all the pain that I've caused.
Wow. Nice. Well, I mean, it worked.
Of her sponsors, as well as a Netflix podcast she'd been hosting by the name of Know It All.
Thanks to
At
10 gift
Tinder,
subs,
this is
AJ.
what your walking
Thank you,
ad
man.
is saying. She has a Netflix
Appreciate that.
podcast. Everyone needs to tag at Netflix.
Netflix has cut ties with JS. Big dubs.
Only JS was clearly feeling the pressure, and understandably wanted to make things right with her audience. So she'd end the apology by stating that she wanted to
Share my platform with some amazing Black creators who are going to tell their story to try and educate others on the trauma that happens when we use this kind of language.
which would eventually result in her and another African-American content creator by the name of Aunt Karen agreeing to collaborate on Only JS's channel. In addition to this, 2 weeks after the apology, Only JS would go to the effort of posting a video talking about how she had read a book on anti-racism.
The first book that I decided to pick up was How to Be Anti-Racist by Dr. Ibram Kendi.
What?
And this will push readers that think that they're not racist into being something better.
To her credit, she did acknowledge that it was a grift in the title, stating,
What?
I know it might come off as performative, talking about this at the end of Black
All right,
History.
I'm gonna hit you with the cold water. If you need to buy a book on how not to be racist, you've already failed. I think you're already too far gone. What the fuck? Hey guys, I just picked up this book on why murder isn't awesome, and it was a real eye-opener for me. Like, it made some points that I never even really stopped to consider. And I think if any of you are considering murder, you might want to check out this book. Like, it really might steer you in the other direction.
Month, but I'm trying to just educate myself and use my platform for good. However, her audience wasn't buying any of the lies. I bet after this video she just tossed the book like it's nothing. That seems like an amazing book for you, but I think you missed some pages. Maybe you missed a few chapters, read it again. But hey, at least she was still in the process of sharing her platform with some other Black content creators as she promised, right? Well, no.
So this message is for you, Only Jays, after your whole N-word debacle. Said you want to collaborate with me. We email, and suddenly you've dropped off the face of the earth. Are Black people just tokens for you to use when you're ready to play? If you were really truly sorry about what you said, you would not have lied and said you were going to do something you clearly aren't trying to do.
The TikTok essentially outlined that after agreeing to collaborate, Only JS would ghost this creator by the name of Aunt Karen once everyone had forgotten about the drama. Now, to Only JS's credit, Aunt Karen's call-out was even more pathetic than JS's original apology, because setting up a collaboration with another creator can be incredibly difficult. There's always problems relating to difference in content style, difference in schedule, difference in time zones, the problem of coming up with
Well,
a
then
video
don't
idea
say you're
that
gonna
will
do
hit
it.
both audiences, what part of the script do
I disagree
allocate to
with
the
that
other
statement.
person, etc., etc.
I still think
Yet,
JS
Aunt
is the
Karen's
worst one
argument in
here.
the call-out was, because Only JS ghosted me, she's therefore a racist.
Why not just be racist? Just say you're racist.
Now, maybe there was some racism involved in the decision, who knows? But it's still a lazy, low-hanging fruit argument designed to create drama out of the highly likely reality, being that collaborations are just incredibly difficult to set up successfully. In addition to this, a feature on Only JS's page with over 10 million followers is going to cost a brand probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, and despite Only JS offering one of these spots to Aunt Karen for free, Aunt Karen still seemed to narcissistically think that she was the one providing Only JS with the opportunity.
I really gave you an opportunity. I really said, you know what, Aunt Karen? Let's see what she has to say. Let's see how we can mutually help each other.
Aunt Karen's call-out was entitled and poorly thought out, but not invalid for one simple reason. Only JS made a promise. There are obviously exceptions, but most of the time, if you say you're going to do something publicly, you have to follow through with it or people are going to notice. JS would initially discuss the ghosting in an Instagram voice message.
So I am sorry for basically ghosting you. I didn't mean to do that. I just have a very chaotic schedule and ADHD on top of that, so I genuinely just forgot. And it wasn't me trying to ignore you.
Oh.
You could have just hit me up again, but instead you decided to go public and try to add public pressure onto me, and that's not cool, so I don't want to collaborate.
Which will once again receive a response from Aunt Karen, explaining that she had emailed Only JS multiple times with no reply.
You're gonna put it on me? In your voicemail, you said I should have emailed you again.
Viral
April 4th,
Nation?
I emailed you. How many times
That sounds like
do
a
you
scam.
expect me to message you, waiting on you to continuously ghost me.
Now, only JS probably could have left it at that, and the drama would have been over within 4
Makes me
weeks.
some blue fire
However,
into your
as
one
Papa
cookie.
Gut said most accurately,
For whatever reason, JS doesn't know how to just stop. Like, when somebody criticizes JS, JS responds, and that's the worst thing.
and in classic only JS fashion, she'd post another emotionally charged response to the
Oh.
drama.
Today's episode of What Are People Mad at Me For Now? Not checking my emails in a timely manner. I wish I was joking. I forgot to respond to an email from this creator that wanted to collab with me, and you know, instead of just like hitting me up again, they made 7 videos about it. Can you please leave me the f alone? I have a diet.
This is like a Chris Farley sketch.
That makes me forget things.
I couldn't check my email because I was living in a van down by the river.
For days, I procrastinate sleep.
We mentioned earlier that the more attention only JS gave to each of these scandals, the more she'd be held accountable for increasingly petty incidents. Well, after this explosive response, the things that her audience would call her out on were taken to the absolute extreme. For example, she would post this video.
You can get your letters delivered for free without any postage if you just put where you want it to go on the return address instead of where it's actually supposed to go.
Which would get the post office activists involved with comments such as, yes, please encourage people to do activities that cause the already failing post office to lose more money. Or when she posts this
What a
video
strat.
saying nothing more than
Life
what
pro
degree she
tip.
did.
So I got my college degrees in math and computer science, which means that I was never really good at writing.
To receive comments such as, I thought you would have majored in saying slur sciences. However, it eventually got to the point where only JS couldn't even make jokes anymore without being cancelled. Seriously. On the 23rd of May 2021, only JS would post the following video.
If a service dog ever approaches you but they're alone, that means that their owner is in trouble and they probably can't move, so you should follow him, because you'll get a free wallet.
It was clearly a light-hearted joke, summed up in comments such as, she probably said the wallet thing to lighten the mood of something bad. Obviously, she wouldn't take a wallet
Thanks
and
to the
probably
reset,
knew that
bits,
most
James.
people would. Bro, do people get this as a
glad you're
joke?
getting
Y'all
that,
are so
James.
sensitive. However, the rest of her audience simply saw yet another opportunity to put only JS through another period of hardship. Can't believe this is still up. It's obvious that it's a joke, but some people may still do it. It could start a trend. What you post on the internet reaches so many people, and some of those people
What
may
are you talking about? How often is a service dog going to be approaching people and lead them to someone who is injured? That surely can't be such a frequent occurrence that it could start a trend on TikTok. What in the fuck is going on over there? Like, it's not a good joke or anything. Like, it's just a pretty generic one. It's like something that your grandpa would send you in like an old email chain. But like, why are they pretending like it's somehow like a terrible thing? It's like, oh my god, someone might actually do this. I see a service dog like once every 6 months, maybe.
inconsiderate or apathetic towards others and do something wrong as a joke that highly affects another person. Take some YouTube and TikTok prank channels for example.
When is it going to be enough to
As we
say
said,
only JS is not a good creator,
Ego.
should not be followed, and should not be listened to? My child, they are a service dog user. This is not a kind of joke you want to be putting out there. It's not funny to anybody who uses a service dog.
With all this in mind, the petition with over 400,000 signatures to have only JS banned is barely a surprise. She dug herself into a hole by displaying an inability to switch off from the audience after being involved in scandal after scandal after scandal. Sometimes criticism from the audience is genuine and can be spotted easily because it's worded in a constructive way, but a lot of the time, without them even realizing it, people write mean or critical things just to see if you're the type of person to crack, respond, or apologize, as has been the case throughout only JS's entire TikTok career. She's been tested over and over and over, yet has been unable to switch off and let things go whenever she's been put under pressure. As an end result, there's not only a
Seems
loss
like
of
she's
respect,
only done
but also
2
a never-ending
apology
freight train of
videos.
negativity and
I
hatred.
thought it was gonna be a lot more. That was interesting. I never heard of any of that. Well, let's see how so she's gone up 4 million subscribers since this video. So she's doing pretty well on that front. Or followers. So she's doing well there. What do the comments say? Do they still bring it up? Here, she posted 6 hours ago. No, just everyone being supportive. Yeah, she's doing just fine on TikTok. I know she's big on YouTube too, so let's see how that's going. Let's take a peek. $3 million subs. Her views pop off. Yeah. Seems like everything's on the up and up.